For over 25 years, I've operated on the human brain. I've held it in my hands. I've watched it heal. And I've watched it fail, not because of age, not because of genetics, but because of what people eat every single day. Most people think brain health is about puzzles, supplements, or luck. But after decades inside operating rooms, I can tell you something most people will never hear. Your brain is being rebuilt daily using the food you give it. And today, I'm going to share 5 foods that consistently protect the brain, support memory, slow cognitive decline, and help the brain heal. Foods I've seen make a real difference over decades, not trends. This isn't internet nutrition. This is long-term biological reality. Let's start with something most people misunderstand about the brain. Your brain is not static. It is alive, changing, and extremely demanding. It uses around 20% of your body's energy, even when you're resting. That energy doesn't come from motivation or intelligence. It comes from nutrients. When the brain doesn't get what it needs, it adapts, but adaptation isn't always good. Connections weaken, inflammation increases, blood flow suffers, and slowly, silently, performance declines. People call it brain fog. I've seen it become something much worse. What shocked me early in my career was how often brain issues appeared before visible disease. Long before scans showed damage, the body had already been underfueling the brain, and the pattern was always similar. High sugar, low nutrients, chronic inflammation. So let's talk about the first food, and it's not exotic. It's not expensive, but it's one of the most powerful brain protectors we know. Fatty fish. The human brain is nearly 60% fat. Not just any fat, specifically DHA, a type of omega-3 fatty acid, DHA, forms the structure of brain cells. Without enough of it, brain cells lose flexibility, communication slows, and inflammation rises. In surgery, healthy brain tissue looks different. It responds differently. Blood flow behaves differently, and diets rich in omega-3 south consistently correlate with better resilience. Fatty fish, like salmon, sardines, and mackerel, provide DHA in a form the brain actually uses. Supplements can help, but food delivers it with supporting nutrients that improve absorption. Populations that regularly eat fatty fish show lower rates of cognitive decline, depression, and neurodegenerative disease. That's not coincidence. That's biology. But here's the mistake people make. They eat it occasionally and expect miracles. Brain protection is cumulative. It's built meal by meal. Now, let's talk about something most people avoid: cholesterol. For years, cholesterol was blamed for everything. But your brain depends on it. Brain cells use cholesterol to build membranes and transmit signals. Extremely low cholesterol diets can actually impair brain function. This brings us to the second food: eggs. Eggs contain choline, one of the most important and underconsumed nutrients for the brain. Choline is essential for memory, learning, and nerve communication. It's also a building block for acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter deeply involved in focus and cognition. Low choline intake is linked to memory problems and increased risk of cognitive decline. And yet, most people don't get enough. Eggs also provide cholesterol in a form the brain uses safely when eaten as part of a balanced diet. In patients recovering from neurological stress, nutrient-dense foods like eggs often made recovery smoother, not faster miracles, but stronger foundations. And this is the theme you'll notice with every food in this video. They don't create instant effects. They protect, stabilize, and slow damage, which matters far more over 30 or 40 years. Over the years, one of the most damaging things I've been inside the brain isn't trauma or disease. It's chronic inflammation. Inflammation doesn't announce itself loudly. It works quietly. Slowly. It narrows blood vessels. It disrupts signaling. It makes brain tissue less resilient. And most people feed it every day without realizing it. That brings us to the third food, one that directly fights inflammation inside the brain. Berries, blueberries, strawberries, blackberries. They look simple, almost harmless. But biologically, they are powerful. Berries are rich in compounds called polyphenols, especially fat. These compounds cross the blood-brain barrier. Very few nutrients can do that, and once inside, they reduce oxidative stress and inflammation. In practical terms, that means brain cells communicate more clearly, memory circuits stay stronger, aging slows. Long-term studies consistently show that people who eat berries regularly maintain cognitive function longer than those who don't eat. This isn't about superfoods. What fascinated me in practice was how inflammation affected recovery. Brains exposed to chronic inflammation healed slower. Swelling lasted longer. Complications increased, and diets rich in plant antioxidants, especially berries, consistently supported better outcomes. Now, let's talk about blood flow. The brain is incredibly sensitive to circulation. Even slight reductions in blood flow affect focus, reaction time, and memory. Over years, poor circulation accelerates decline. Which brings us to the fourth food, one people underestimate. Leafy green vegetables, spinach, kale, broccoli, rocket. These vegetables are rich in nitrates, which the body converts into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide relaxes blood vessels, improving circulation, including to the brain. Better blood flow means better oxygen delivery, better nutrient transport, better waste removal. Leafy greens also contain folate, vitamin K, and magnesium, all critical for nerve signaling and brain metabolism. In older patients, diets low in greens often correlated with faster cognitive decline, not because greens are magical, but because the brain cannot thrive without proper circulation. Another critical factor leafy greens influence is homocysteine, a compound that damages blood vessels when elevated. Folate helps keep homocysteine in check. This is one of those connections people don't feel, but surgeons see the consequences of over decades. Now, before we move to the fifth food, there's an important truth that needs to be said. The brain does not like extremes, ultra-low-fat diets, extreme fasting without planning, excessive sugar, or constant snacking. All of these stressed the nervous system. The brain wants consistency, nutrients, and calm signals, which brings us to something people fear unnecessarily: healthy fats, specifically olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil is rich in monounsaturated fats and compounds that reduce neuroinflammation. It supports cell membranes, improves insulin sensitivity in the brain, and protects against oxidative damage. Populations that use olive oil as a primary fat source show lower rates of cognitive decline and neurodegenerative disease. Again, not coincidence. From a surgical perspective, healthier metabolic profiles often meant healthier brain tissue. The brain reflects the body's internal environment, and olive oil consistently improves that environment. Now that we've covered the first 4 brain-protecting foods, fatty fish, eggs, berries, and leafy greens, it's time for the 5th food. And it may surprise you because most people already have it in their kitchen, but they rarely use it in a way that benefits the brain. Nuts, almonds, walnuts, hazelnuts, pistachios. These little powerhouses are full of healthy fats, vitamin E, and antioxidants. Vitamin E in particular is critical for protecting brain cells from oxidative damage. It acts like a shield, slowing the breakdown of neurons over time. But there's more. Nuts contain arginine, magnesium, and selenium, all compounds that support healthy circulation, reduce inflammation, and improve neurotransmission. In other words, they help brain cells talk to each other more efficiently. Over decades in the operating room, I've seen patients whose diets consistently included these brain-supporting foods often recover faster from neurological stress. Their mental sharpness and focus were noticeably better. It wasn't magic, it was biology in action. Now, here's the secret that ties all 5 foods together: synergy. Eating one food occasionally helps a little. Eating all 5 regularly changes the environment your brain lives in. It reduces inflammation, supports repair, stabilizes blood sugar, protects neurons, and keeps neurotransmitters balanced. Over years, this is what preserves memory, focus, and cognitive flexibility. But it's not just what you eat, it's how you eat. Small, frequent meals with adequate protein, antioxidants, and healthy fats keep your brain energy stable. Skipping meals or binging on processed foods spikes blood sugar, triggers inflammation, and stresses the nervous system. That's why diet patterns matter more than individual superfoods. Hydration is also crucial. The brain is about 75% water. Even mild dehydration affects cognition, mood, and focus. Pairing these 5 foods with sufficient water or herbal tea amplifies their benefits. Sleep amplifies the effects even further. During deep sleep, the brain clears waste products and repairs neurons. Nutrients from these foods are absorbed and used more efficiently when the body is well rested. Lack of sleep negates a lot of what you eat. Movement matters too. Even light daily activity improves circulation to the brain. Remember, it's not about extreme exercise. It's about consistency. So here's the takeaway. Fatty fish DHA builds brain cells and protects connections. Eggs choline fuels memory and focus. Berries polyphenols fight inflammation and oxidative stress. Leafy greens, nitrates and folate improve circulation and prevent cell damage. Nuts, healthy fats, vitamin E, and antioxidants shield neurons. Eat these consistently. Combine them with hydration, sleep, and light activity. Over months and years, your brain will be healthier, sharper, and more resilient than most people realize. And remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about creating an environment your brain can thrive in every single day. The human brain is miraculous. It adapts, it heals, and it grows, but only if we give it the tools it needs. The foods we choose, the sleep we get, the habits we form, these are the invisible surgeons working inside us daily. After decades of performing actual brain surgery, I can say with certainty the easiest, safest, and most powerful tool for protecting your brain may already be on your plate. Start with these 5 foods. Treat your brain like the most important organ it is. And over time, you'll notice the difference in memory, focus, mood, and even fat metabolism. Your brain isn't waiting for tomorrow. It starts responding to what you feed it today. So let's wrap this up. Your brain is not some untouchable organ that only responds to medicine or magic supplements. It's alive. It's adaptable. And every bite you take either helps it thrive or slowly holds it back. These 5 foods, fatty fish, eggs, berries, leafy greens, and nuts, are not a quick fix. They are long-term investments in your brain's health, resilience, and performance. They reduce inflammation, improve circulation, protect neurons, and fuel memory and focus. Combine them with good sleep, hydration, and consistent movement. And you're giving your brain the absolute best chance to stay sharp for decades. Remember, your brain dose and tea work for you unless you work for it. And the easiest way to do that is through the foods you choose every single day. Start small. Start today. Every meal is an opportunity to feed your brain the nutrients it craves. Over time, you'll notice the difference: sharper focus, better memory, and even improved overall well-being. Your brain deserves this. And after 25 years of seeing it at its best and worst, I promise you, nothing else comes close to the power of real, whole foods combined with smart lifestyle choices. Feed it well, protect it, and it will reward you for decades to come.